Prior acceptance of path and experience, we talked about that. Before we come down here, obviously we are given a choice. It's a concept of free will. We always have this choice to say, no, I don't want to do that. If we accepted the path and we accepted the karma that we're going to heal and we understand eternal growth, then you can't blame anybody else for the experiences you've had. There's no reason to hold any harboring thoughts about anything that somebody's done to you. No state of growth which implies perfection, that's obvious. We know that growth is eternal, life is eternal, existence is eternal. So there's just higher levels than what we know today. And when we get there, we'll know there's higher levels than that. And there's always room for growth. At every moment in time, we experience exactly what we need to experience in order to help us grow and learn. We talked about that too. Our ability to understand our experiences determines whether they repeat. Okay? I know some of you probably have experiences that you don't want to repeat, so the opportunity exists to learn from those and grow. Everyone is equally important and here for the same purpose. Remember, the gardener, it doesn't matter, the ditch digger, the president, we're all equal. We're all important. We're all here for the same reason, and that is to grow. So it's important to recognize that everybody's path is divine and everybody's path is perfect and everybody's path should be honored. Doesn't matter whether they achieve importance in life and on the media level. Okay, no right or wrong judgment, only different levels of understanding. Okay, if everything's destiny, then there is no right or wrong, right? So it's only a matter of understanding whether you're going to judge something or not. No promises, no regrets. Well, there you go. I mean, you can take action, you can make choices, but you can't promise the outcome. So promises and regrets, if you regret something, then you feel you did something wrong. You don't understand destiny. And if you make promises, then people don't understand that that's not necessary. A lot of people want promises. Whether you give them is up to you. But, I mean, you can say, I plan on being there. The universe is going to decide whether you're actually going to be there and how you manifest. Maybe you didn't manifest the time to be there when you thought you had. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why a promise doesn't work out. And people get disappointed when you make promises and they don't work out. Well, then again, if they get disappointed, they're lacking understanding. Okay, it's very much a cyclical process here. You set yourself up and other people will judge you based on that. Belief in destiny is key to self-healing. We already talked about that. Okay, experiencing your thoughts manifesting self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, manifestation is a self-fulfilling prophecy because it's based on what you do. The actions you take, the thoughts you have. You are what you think and become what you're exposed to. We've talked about that. Importance of reprogramming, exposure to people, objects, events, and media. Now, we've talked about some of this, right? You have a choice of whether you want to be exposed to something. You have a choice of whether you want to watch the news. I mean, there's certain ways you can get news that are not so traumatic. I mean, now that we live in this age, the internet's one way. I mean, you're not getting it bombarded verbally, but you can read the headlines and decide if you want to read the article. It's still news. It depends on how it's presented. So, and again, you got exposure to people. We've talked about that. You got, people who are very negative or not supportive, and they want you to do something. You have the right to say, no, I don't feel like doing it. Okay, why don't we do it that way? Because we're afraid of being judged. Usually, somebody's going to say, "Oh, well, you're not really my friend." Okay, well, a true friend is supportive. And so maybe you have to make choices. Okay, objects included. I mean, there are physical objects in the world and all over the world that some of which have a positive energy and some of which have a negative energy. Well, if you're going to a temple and you're looking at the sacrificial stone where they, beheaded people, well, maybe you could choose you don't want to do that. It's not something I want to see. Or there are positive temples where they didn't do that kind of stuff. So those are things that you can make a choice on that will affect your manifestation abilities. All right, step 1 in manifestation. accept that anything and everything is possible. Okay, now that in itself is a challenge. I mean, I know a lot of people that would not accept that because they got self-limiting thought, and they've had self-limiting thought programmed into them by society and other people. So anything and everything is possible is not something they can handle. Okay, the second step is you must be able to think it. Okay, first you accept that anything and everything is possible. Then if you can think about something, it has a greater probability of manifestation. And that is, the blocks for that are your subconscious mind and your pre-programming. Again, limiting thoughts, limiting actions, limiting beliefs. Okay, step 3, you must believe that you can achieve and manifest what you think. Okay, belief. That comes from your conscious mind and the programming, not pre-programming, but the programming that you're actually doing today. So, belief. Now, how do you get belief? I can't give you belief, just like I can't give you wisdom. Okay? Belief comes from understanding. Okay? If you understand that anything and everything is possible, and you can think it, and you see that a path works for you, then you can gain the belief that it can actually happen. All right, the fourth step is you must have faith that it will occur. All right, the blocks are the superconscious mind, where your higher level spiritual functions come from. So faith is mostly, in this case, patience. Okay, expectation and anticipation, gone. They're not going to help. So if you have learned that this path works, then you can have the patience to let it happen. Because if you don't have the patience, you're going to block it, because you're either going to have fear or anxiety or something about that belief system. So you have to prove it to yourself, and then you really have faith in it. Okay, manifestation is blocked when there is a breakdown in any one of these steps. Well, we already know that some people can't believe that anything and everything is possible. Some people can't think it. A lot of people can't believe it'll happen, and more people don't have the faith and the patience to let it happen. So this is why people don't achieve the manifestations they're looking for. Visualization of ideal life, partner, career, home example. Again, part of manifestation is being able to think it, which is visualization. You can do an exercise. You can say, I would desire or love to live in the mountains in a cabin, or I'd love to live on the beach in a tent. I mean, the ideal life is individual for everybody. And I will tell you this, that as you define or visualize your ideal life, through the spiritual growth process, you will modify that. Because what's ideal for you today may not be ideal to you when you are at a higher level of release. So some people want a mansion with 5 cars. Who knows? But that's not negative. It's just a different level of understanding and what they want in life. Thinking is something which is less than ideal is self-limiting. So if you can visualize your ideal life and maintain that focus, that's more important than thinking is something less than that. You will only achieve that which you believe you can achieve. Focus on end result, not the details. Create a plan to keep it dynamic at all times. Okay. The most important thing, again, is release means focus on the end result. And let this path determine how you get there. And I've made the mistake, so I know what can happen. Okay? You have an end result, and you see synchronicity, you feel you got some intuition going, and you're manifesting, and all of a sudden you get bold and you take a step that wasn't really as positive as you thought. Okay? So the universe trips you up. It's deliberate. You got to learn some way. So you're going to have to learn how it works and do it yourself.